I think we're there. Okay. All right. I'm just going to do this because I've been waiting. We've been traveling. Let's see, where's our cameras there? Hi, everyone. Welcome. I hope you can hear me. I'm mic'd and we are live and we're here in the standing room. I'm doing it a little early for America because I have no idea. I think your comments might show up there, but that's where my light is. But it doesn't matter. Also, I haven't been able to figure out why this is flipped. So just disregard that. And I shall put a link up there. One of these corners. I shall put a link up so you can get a copy of these free books. And then I'm going to figure out how to flip these because I've been online. I can't figure out how to flip the titles. I don't know what I'm doing. I really don't know what I'm doing in any of this. I don't. I just kind of go along with what I think is probably the next indicated step. And I don't know if I'm missing notifications. No, I'm not. No one's there with me. That's fine. What we're going to do today is try to get used to the live forum and see if I can interact with you a little bit. I'm still going to be doing the Key to Theosophy book studies, which is where I actually read you the book. And it's my take on the book. But I highly recommend... Oh, somebody is there. Who is it? Hi. Hi there. Thank you for bumbling and being patient enough to wade through this with me. Isn't this exciting? We get to be live together. I didn't bring up anything to drink. The lighting is all funny, and I think there might be some things over here that... Anyway, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to start studying this little book here live. This is Light on the Path. And that's backwards too. Great. If any of you know how to flip this, hi there, Intense Knowledge. Good morning. I don't know where you're located, but I do know it is early for the States, and that was a purposeful call on my part. I'm over here in the United Kingdom because just trying to iron out the lives here. I've done live on Periscope, live on, well, I did live radio for years. I did live broadcasting for years, but doing it here on YouTube to do this study, we're just going to start a little early bit of, I know it's backwards, Light on the Path. There are links to these free texts that I will include after this is finished uploading. Trill trying to find out where the camera is there. And we're going to talk a little bit about this book. So welcome, Intense Knowledge. It's just me and you. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask so I can see if I can even see them. For my lighting might be covering my ability to see your questions. But Light on the Path, this little treatise, this little book, it's teeny tiny. However, it is extremely valuable and considered one of the biggest and most important theosophical classics ever. And again, Yogi Theosophy here on the Yogi Theosophy channel. Yogi meaning student, Theosophy meaning Theos, gods, Sophia, wisdom, the wisdom of the gods, the ancient wisdom of the gods that dates before all of the world's religions. Something just changed. I don't know what that was. Are we still live? I'm going to keep going with it. Thank you for bearing with me. And if you have any tips, if you go live on YouTube, let me know. But we're going to start out this book, introduced by Blavatsky, written down by a woman named Mabel Collins. Now, Mabel Collins was her pen name. It was her name. But she was an author. She was a theosophist. She was an animal rights advocate. She was very much against vivisection. This was written down in 1885. Okay, so 1885. I have republished it, so it's free. And anyway, Blavatsky's introduction is this little book, a true jewel, belongs to and emanates from the same symbol, okay, the same school, of Indo-Aryan and Buddhist thought and learning as the teachings in the Secret Doctrine. Now, many of you have written and said that the Secret Doctrine is daunting to read, that you've downloaded it as an audiobook or something, and I absolutely agree. It is written in a way that is in layers and dimensions, and I think if maybe absorbed in tiny little chunks, or possibly starting with things like Light on the Path or The Voice of the Silence. These are still very powerful and sacred texts. You can maybe start with B.P. Wadia's Studies in the Secret Doctrine, which are just a little bit more palatable. But anyway, that's why I'm here. I'm doing this with you so we can study these teachings and apply them, and you become them. And by becoming them, you make a very big difference in the area that you're at. Okay, so as a former broadcaster, I thought I'd use my skills, whatever I've learned over the years, in the world of social media broadcasting to bring these teachings to light. So this treatise was written for the personal use of those who are ignorant of the Eastern wisdoms and who desire to enter within its influence. So again, if you want to get a copy of the free audiobook, again, you can go to the website, you can go anywhere online. It's called Light on the Path, written down by a woman named Mabel Collins. Now, I believe, for lack of a better word, that this work was channeled, okay? Take with it what you will. I'm putting myself out there. I have found these teachings to be absolutely so very important, so massive. What I've been looking for all along through churches, the New Age movement, through all of that, spiritualism, everything, I found them. And it was pointing, my very first experience was pointing towards the teachings in this tiny book. Okay, so we're just going to start off with the introduction. And this particular introduction is written down by a man named Yogi Ramacharaka, which is a pen name of a man named William Walker Atkinson, who was a lawyer, an author in the New Thought movement. And when I came across this book, actually, it was this book, was pointing towards Light on the Path. This was, to me, and by its own admission, the crude elementary teachings of Theosophy. So, with that, let's start with Yogi Ramacharaka's introduction to these teachings of Light on the Path. Okay, I've got one contact in and one contact out, so I can see you and see the see the writing. Okay, the following treatise, Light on the Path, is a classic among occultists. You know the word occult. We've talked about this before, but the word occult simply means the unknown at the current time. So it doesn't necessarily mean bad. It can, and it has been, but it simply means out of the current area of knowledge. For example, if you shined a light in the room, you would see what you know to see with the light, and everything in the black would be the occult, if you will, in the dark, I should say, the unknown. The following treatise, Light on the Path, is a classic among occultists and is the best guide known for those who have taken the first step on the path to attainment. Its writer has veiled the meaning of the rules in the way always customary to mystics, so that the one who has no grasp on the truth, these pages will probably appear to be a mass of contradictions and practically devoid of sense. But to the one to whom a glimpse of the inner life has been given, these pages will be a treasury of the rarest jewels. And each time he opens it, he will see new gems. Now I'm going to pause right here because that is absolutely the truth. Now I have experienced that, and I would never have guessed that. I would never have guessed that revisiting a small book like this, revisiting it at a different time, even if it's a few days, a few weeks, a few months down the road, something different will be learned from the text. Something different will be digested and absorbed. I thought I was crazy until I found that applying what I'm learning inside this text has led me to the study of other theosophical texts. And through that study, it has changed my life, that if I hadn't experienced it, I wouldn't be doing this here with you. So very, very important here. These pages will be a treasury of the rarest jewels. And each time he opens it, you will see new gems. To many, this little book will be the first revelation of that which they have been all their lives blindly seeking. To many, it will be the first bit of spiritual bread given to satisfy the hunger of the soul. To many, it will be the first cup of water from the spring of life, given to quench the thirst which has consumed them. Those for whom this book is intended will recognize the message, its message, and in reading it, they will never be the same as before it came to them. Now, I have to say that is what my personal experience is. My recommendation, download the book for free, find it online. I have it in the Yogi Theosophy bookshop, and try it yourself. Try studying it. Join me for these book studies of the Key to Theosophy or Light on the Path and see what happens. I don't know. What have you got to lose? Okay. As the poet has said, where I pass, all my children know me, and so will the children of the light recognize this book as for them. As for the others, we can only say that they will in time be ready for this great message. This book is intended to symbolize the successive steps of the neophyte, meaning the beginner, of the neophyte in occultism as he progresses in the lodge work. Now, the lodge, back in the day, when these were written at the end of the 19th century, to be able to have access to these texts, or anyone who had experience with these texts, see, I'm by myself, talking to myself, that's fine. You had to go to a Theosophical lodge, or to a library, or to some kind of an Eastern religious retreat, or find someone somewhere that had copies of these texts. In the world of today, you have the libraries of the entire earth at your fingertips. You don't have to go into the Himalayan mountains. You don't have to go out into the desert. They're here. They're available for all. Okay, this book is intended to symbolize the successive steps of the neophyte, the beginner in occultism, as he progresses in the lodge work. The rules are practically those which were given to the neophytes in the Great Lodge of the Brotherhood of Ancient Egypt. Now, the word brotherhood has been hijacked, okay, and it's been used to mean other things, but brotherhood simply means all of us are one. Everybody is related. We are all part of the same source, which for generations have been taught by guru to chela. Guru meaning teacher, to chela, those who are learning, or those who have qualified to learn. So lots of people will say they're gurus. Don't listen to that. Make sure you'll know if they are or not, and you'll know if you're a chela or not, or you'll know if it's your time to teach. You'll know. Okay. The peculiarity of the rules herein laid down is that their inner meaning unfolds as the student progresses on the path. I'm going to read that again. The peculiarity of the rules herein laid down is that their inner meaning unfolds, okay, as the student progresses on the path. Now, I've had people write to me and say, how do you find that to be the case? I found that I've been sober for 16 years, no alcohol, drugs going into the body. I found that that has increased my ability to feel and recognize these. When I went vegetarian, I also noticed that that changed, and that made things a little bit more clearly. When I became vegan in May of this year, I found that it really increased my ability to understand these. And believe me, it would take probably lifetimes upon lifetimes to understand them accurately. And in by understanding them, it doesn't mean that I get to be, I don't know, have some mission or be famous or well-known among men or be wealthy. Life's challenges will still come. Ups and downs. Hello, welcome. Somebody else is with us. Hello. We are studying Light on the Path. This is my first actual study, and yes, I know it's backwards. I don't know how to flip that around. So we're just doing the introduction. This is my very first one, and I'm doing it a little early for the American audience in case I crash and burn, which I'm trying to learn the lighting and sets and questions and being able to see that. So we're getting there. Remember, all of this is a labor of love. Everything on Yogi Theosophy I do in my spare time, which is now becoming full-time. And I'm doing it and filming you on my phone, and all the uploading and blogging and all that stuff. I do it because I love it and I believe in it, and I believe it will help others. And so it is a labor of love in service to everyone. So I'm not here. I don't make money. These books are for free. So far I'm in the red, and I think I probably will be through the end of this lifetime, but it doesn't make any difference. It's important. My husband is the main breadwinner in our family, and I do voiceovers. Some voiceovers. I do voice some audiobooks, and I'm an old radio talent, so I do some work. Anyway, but this is, I believe, more important. So I'd like to be able to do this full time. All right. Anyway. Okay. Some will be able to understand a number of these rules, while others will see them but dimly in the first steps. This is me throwing my thing in here. Another very important thing about studying Theosophy and applying Theosophy and becoming Theosophy would be your purpose. Is your purpose to gain knowledge, to elevate yourself above others? Then it won't work. Is your purpose to be able to gain this knowledge, to be in service of all beings on this planet, and in compassion, in empathy, and unconditional love and understanding. If the latter applies, then you will be able to hear more clearly. Okay. The student, however, will find that when he has firmly planted his foot on one of these steps, he will find the one just ahead becoming dimly illuminated, so as to give him confidence to take the next step. For the fact, sorry, I just got chills because that is exactly what it feels like. I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know how to do this. I don't know which direction I'm going, but I just do the next indicated thing. And through the application of these studies, I believe that that this is the right thing to do. It just feels like the right thing to do. I also question whether I'm sane or not. And my one viewer has gone. I do. I wonder whether this is, am I supposed to be doing this? Is this the right thing to do? It doesn't matter. It feels right, and that's why I'm here. Okay. He will find that the stair just ahead becoming fully illuminated, so as to give him confidence to take on the next step. Let none be discouraged. The fact that this book attracts you, Light on the Path. Here it is. This is from the early part of the 1900s. It was written in 1885. Let none be discouraged. The fact that this book attracts you is the message to you that it is intended for you, and will in time unfold its meaning. Read it over and over and over and over again. It's little. It's free. There's a link. I'm going to put a link up here. You can go to the Yogi Theosophy Bookshop and download it right now. Read it over and over often, and you will find veil after veil lifted. Okay? And though veil upon veil still remains between you and the Absolute. So this is not a guarantee. This is not a shortcut, but you will find it becoming clearer and clearer, more clearly. It will be noticed by you that the words of the book will remain in your mind and will become a part of you. You will learn to love this book. I know it's backwards. You will learn to love this book, and you will want it with you always. It will be as music to your soul. To those who do not know this book, we would say that it is not our work, but it was written down by M.C., and those initials stand for Mabel Collins. She was a scribe, a secretary. This is not about Mabel or Mabel's creation. This is ancient, and she wrote it down in 1885. It was published. She's a student of occultism, and presumably this was written down at the dictation of someone high in authority. Its words and teachings bear witness to the nobility and grandeur of the soul who aspired it. To us, it is a guiding star. May it be the same to you. Peace be unto you. Now that was written by Yogi Ramacharaka. Yogi Ramacharaka is the pen name, again, of William Walker Atkinson. He wrote these books and many others. He also wrote the Kabbalion. There are some really valuable teachings in the, that's where I got the name, Yogi Theosophy. It's from Yogi Philosophy and Oriental Occultism. That was the name of the book that I first stumbled upon back in 2004 that pointed towards Light on the Path. And that's what led me to study further into the Theosophical teachings. And by studying further, I found that there's literally a fount of endless knowledge. And I felt compelled to be able to do something about that, not just keep it up on the dusty shelves. So I have republished them, made them available for free. I tell the story of the discovery of that book and the reading that you see here on this channel of these texts, and then leading into these talks, and then leading into the blogs, and then leading into the teaching of the Key to Theosophy, which isn't really the teaching because I'm simply a student. It is simply applying the teachings and sharing that with you. So this is a live broadcast. I don't get a chance to edit out any hiccups in the lighting and the verbiage or any of that. So you are live. If anybody does pop on live, you're free to ask a question. It looks like we've gone on for 20 minutes. That's good. So Light on the Path, the introduction has been read. That was written down by, I know it's backwards. I wanted to print out a little thing that said Light on the Path so I could hold it up and have it be backwards. But anyway, written down by Mabel Collins, okay? Then the introduction we just read was written down by William Walker Atkinson. His pen name at the time, Yogi Ramacharaka. The person Yogi Ramacharaka never existed. That is a fictitious name. The most important thing is that Helena Petrovna Blavatsky, again, a scribe, a secretary, and one of the most important, she wasn't important, but the writings, well, I don't want to say she wasn't important. She wasn't as important as what she wrote down, what came through her at the end of the 19th century. She wrote down some of the most important teachings of the last 2,000 years. So she describes Light on the Path as, again, this little book. A true jewel belongs to and emanates from the same school of Indo-Aryan and Buddhist thought and learning as the teachings in the Secret Doctrine. Now, the Secret Doctrine, Isis Unveiled, all of those valuable, important, sacred theosophical texts that are now available to all. You can access these teachings online. You don't have to join a club, pay dues or fees, or be initiated. That's another thing. Some people have written and said they want to be initiated. Any work, any evolution takes place inside you between your higher and lower self. Lower self is the world of the senses. Your higher self is where you find the virtues, compassion, empathy, love, understanding. So on that note, I shall close this very quiet, but first, live study of the Light on the Path. Now, again, I may pop on at a different time during the day. Let me know what works for you. I think I have a majority of the people coming through on this channel from America. However, there are some over here in the UK and in Europe, and I just wanted to be of service. So please drop me a line. All comments will be read and answered, and I have no idea how to close this. I think it's that X, but watch for the links I'm going to put up here in the corners so you can access the Yogi Theosophy digital bookshop. The books are absolutely free. They always will remain free, so you can have access to them to download. If you wish to hear copies of them, I have voiced some of them and put them on this channel. The audiobooks are also available for sale in global retail outlets, which helps me pay for things like lighting and things, publishing and things like that. So I love you, and I will see you again soon. Okay, I think we're closing by doing that. I think that's it. Yes, I'm sure.